Alright, I think we're good. I think we're live. Let's see. Alright, awesome. So, what's up, guys? Today, we are going to be going over chapter 270 of the BLUELOCK manga. It's unfortunate that Raven couldn't be here today. He's not feeling well, but it's fine. Because, bro's gotta rest up. He deserves it. So it's just gonna be me today. But I'm gonna keep it interesting. And to make up for the last stream, because we were doing a lot of debating, I'm gonna be doing a lot of, chat interactions. If you guys have questions, I'll answer them with my opinion, and yada yada. But we're also gonna be going through the chapter. I hope you guys are excited for the stream. But let's get into it. So the chapter starts where it picked off last time, right? It picked off with Rin stealing the ball from Corona, and the opening line is, "A monster filled with murderous intent has finally been born. A new massacre begins." And the chapter is called Break. And Yoichi says, "Wasn't that a foul just now? Hey, VAR." And Isagi says, "No, Rin touched the ball first, bringing out his praise best and destroying it." Itoshi Rin is about to go all out, and we see Rin, his tongue comes out again, and he begins to rush towards Yoichi. And we see one of the bastard defenders here, Engagamaru, in the shot here, and Yoichi says, "Shit." So he's not prepared, but he goes in anyways, and he sticks out his hand to try and, use his physique and stamina, and, to try and keep him at a distance, as he usually does. And Rin blocks it like Isagi did to him, and Kiora comes in and tries to double team Rin with Yoichi. Rin chips the ball up, and Kiora and Yoichi both lose, and Rin passes the ball. He ends up passing to Nanase, and he gets past Yoichi before Nanase sends it back to Rin. Now this is interesting to me, specifically just because, Rin in his original flow state didn't pass the ball. He refused. He was like, "No, I'm never going to pass to Isagi. I didn't want to pass to Bachira or Nagi." He just did it on his own. So the fact that he's passing here is really interesting. Brody, you said, I ain't gonna lie, the fan base of BLUELOCK killed my enjoyment the last few chapters, but the last few chapters got me back. What part of the fan base killed your enjoyment? BLUELOCK is one of those communities where I haven't heard a lot about the fan base. Realistically, I haven't heard anything about the fan base, good or bad. So it's interesting to me in that aspect. But I understand your point, though. A fan base can easily kill an enjoyment for the series. I mean, just look at My Hero. My Hero is a great series, but the fan base is terrible. We've all seen not the meme, but the incident at the convention center with Deku's voice actor Justin Briner and the guy who came up asked him about the ship. That's terrible. But the show is so good, it just doesn't get enough appreciation because of the whole situation with the fan base. And I don't even know why the fan base of My Hero acts the way they do, specifically about their series. What made their series turn out like this? You could have easily, there's so many other shows that could have gone so much worse. But why My Hero? I don't know. But anyways, Rin gets the ball from Nanase, and Hiyori comes to press him, which is odd that he isn't using Metavision here. Which, I don't know why he wouldn't. I know Metavision isn't really designed for one-on-ones, but when you're going up against the number one player in BLUELOCK, you're gonna want to you're gonna want to have your peak going. You're gonna want to have Metavision going. So it's weird that he isn't here, but whatever. And he matches up against Hiyori, and Rin performs what I think is a really it looks intense. It's a really powerful rainbow flag. Normally with Bachira, it'll go up this way and then just loop around like that. I don't know if you guys can even see my cursor on screen, but it's the fact that this looks so powerful to me. It just goes up and curves around with such force, and it's really intense, and I like it. But he gets past Hiyori, and Hiyori says he is good, has his concentration increased. Then we get a lot of Isagi monologuing in this chapter, and he says he doesn't stop the movement of the ball or himself. A counter that makes the most of his individual skills and passing, an efficient break work. And he says, so Rin was always aware of my movements, so the more the field becomes centered on me, the easier it becomes to read the overall movements tied to it. So, this to me makes it seem like Rin will not get Metavision, and that his playstyle is going to be more focused on... His vision is going to exceed in situations where someone is at the center that he can read the movements of. Like, we see here with Isagi that he can basically perform the feats that Metavision can without the use of Metavision, so long as you have, like, the movement centered around Isagi, if that makes sense. And so that's to me why I don't think he's gonna get Metavision, but excuse me. Anyways, I digress. Chapter continues with him saying, which means that the more restriction oriented to show his abilities in the situation where he is, which means that he is more restrictive oriented to show his abilities in the situation where he is, limited and tied down to what he can do. Unlike Kaiser, who let go of his obsession of me, he fixates on me more to express himself better, a self-type egoist. So, Rin is a self-type egoist. Same with Kunigami. And I honestly wasn't really expecting that, given that, like, his flow state is really the only thing that, like, is kind of restrictive. Everything else, he really is, if given the freedom, performs his best, in my opinion. Also, we get 11 people in here. Yo, what's up, guys? Today we're going to be doing a lot of, like, we're going to be reviewing the chapter myself, but because Raven isn't here, we're going to just be kind of, engaging with the chat. And, if you guys have any questions about Blue Lock or the series, go in and ask them. And I'll pretty much be responding to them the majority of the stream, just, simply because, Raven's not here. Don't really have someone to talk about the chapter with. So, it's just going to be, you guys got questions, ask me, and I'll be here. Yo, what's up? What's up, Dumbflame? How you doing, bro? But anyways, so Isagi says, I'm starting to understand Rin's mental structure, the equation of his mind. So, I realistically, there's not a lot I think Isagi can do. Considering that, like, the whole thing is that, I'll pull it back, is that Rin's entire playstyle gets better when it gets focused on Isagi. And no matter what Isagi can do now, the field is basically going to be centered on him for the rest of the match. Right? It's going to be centered on him for the rest of the match. It's going to be centered on Isagi. And Rin is only going to be getting better because of it. So I don't know why understanding Rin's mental structure is going to be of any real importance, if that makes sense. Like, it's not going to do much simply because Isagi can't really do anything. So it's just odd to me. It's kind of odd to me, but whatever. Continue with Isagi saying, so how do I twist this weirdo Itoshi Rin in my will? We continue with him saying he's getting closer to feeling that time during the U20 match, and Rin is locked in, and Isagi continues by saying the thrill of exposing the enemy's highest form and crushing and trampling on it. So, we were kind of right. Rin's flow state's all about just drawing out an opponent's best move and you kind of using it against them. And not in the same way that Ryo can copy stuff, but I think it's really interesting that he can do that. We cut to Rin's perspective, and he comes across these two remaining bastard defenders. And Rin says, that's right, more. And Isagi says, how am I going to stop Rin? This situation is different from that time at the U20 match. At that time, Sai was there, so he became a presence that could barely stop Rin. Which is bullshit, okay? That doesn't make any sense. Because Rin wasn't barely getting stopped by Sai. Rin was barely keeping up with Sai. Right? And the only reason that he won was because he drew out Sai's strongest move, which he knew how to do. If it wasn't for the fact that Rin is Sai's brother and knows exactly how he plays, if this was any other New Gen 11 in that instance, Rin would have lost. So, Sai isn't a character that could barely stop Rin. Rin was a character that could barely stop Sai. So I don't know, this is definitely a mistranslation that I want to see cleared up in the official chapter. but whatever. Let's see. Rin beats out this first defender and Isagi says, but now no one can. No one can suppress Rin when he's switched one. Or I'm assuming it means switched on, but another mistranslation. And this move right here is very similar to Bachira's aerial rush turn. And I don't know, I really like that Rin is... There's a lot of parallels in the story that they're showing of characters doing kind of the same movements. And I think it's really cool to just be like, oh, another character did that exact same thing. It's kind of cool. I don't know. Dumbflame, what panel are you exactly coloring? I'm honestly curious. Yo, we got 12 people in here. What's up, guys? How you guys doing? Just by the way, today's going to be mostly a chat interactive stream. So if you guys got Blue Lock questions or takes that you want me to talk about, and we can, debate them on stream. That's pretty much what this live is going to be, just going over the chapter and stuff. It won't be really long, just because I'm here by myself and can only go so far by myself without really anyone to converse with. So, if you guys, have any takes you want to throw out there about this chapter or whatever, do that and we can talk about it. And Izzy continues by saying, then I have no choice but to take Sai's place. Can I do it? No. I have to do it. Bring it. Your best form. Another mistranslation. They got it out quick, but they were very sloppy with it. And Isagi says, you're going to win, right? The number one is me. And we see Isagi clash with Rin in a physical battle. And what I really like about this panel is that it's identical to the panel of Nagi and Rin clashing in the Manchan City versus PXG match, where Rin was also in flow there. So the fact that Nagi was able to draw Rin into flow was really interesting. And, I think that this panel itself looks really cool with the auras coming off of each other. And I really like it. But it makes me wonder what's going to happen. Because Gagamaru is, ready. He's there. He's ready to block. So can he do it the same way that Isagi did with Burū, like restricting their movements to where Gagamaru can block it? I hope so. Let's see. What'd you say? Although I'm a side glazer, I think stopping Destroyer Rin is a bit difficult. Yeah, obviously it's difficult, right? But Rin was keeping up with Sai. Sai wasn't keeping up with Rin. Rin was like the obvious challenger of that fight. And Sai was definitely the better player. It was really situational that did it. Yo, what's up, Nathan? How you doing, bro? Dumbflame, the panel is PXG Rin shooting a shot. I'm assuming when we first saw, Charles. Like, the chapter where Charles was first revealed. But, you said, anyway, that Rin and Isagi clash. Shouldn't Rin just body him considering Isagi's physical? I mean... I don't know. I mean, Nagi was clashing with Rin, and they were pretty even. But Rin was still overpowering Nagi. But the fact that he was in the... Nagi went to Manchan City, and I don't know how Isagi is physically stronger than Nagi anymore. But, whatever. The chapter continues with a flashback where we see Rin playing with toys, and he's breaking them. And he says, Foosh, Kun, Beam, and Vroom, and starts to drool. And Sai comes in and says, you're drooling again, Rin. Is it that much fun? And Rin says, yeah. Sai says, oh no, it's broken. Toys aren't like humans. They don't bleed, but once they break, they won't heal, right? And Rin says, I know, I'm sorry. Will I get scolded again? Mom and Dad? Will I cause them trouble again? Sai is like, He's thinking. And he says, you want to go get some ice cream? And Rin says, yeah. Sai says, did you get it? And Rin says, no, miss, referring to, whether they won on the little, the stick, right? And Sai says, don't worry about it, Rin. Until the day that I die, Oni-chan will be by your side, which is, saying that Sai is going to be by his side. And it looks like Rin got knocked out of his flow state here, which is really, really interesting. And he says, my ego. And the final thing is the past with his brother, Rin's ego is unraveling in the woven memories. Now, the next chapter is called Life is Beautiful, meaning we're gonna get Sai next chapter. There's no doubt we're getting Sai next chapter because his entire playstyle is beautiful destruction. So there's no way we're not gonna get Sai next chapter. So maybe we're gonna continue with, like, you know, everything. Let's see. But is it the... He just says, is it the real thing because he has no destroyer eyes? It's possible. We don't really even know what that vision style was. And we don't even know if that's a unique vision style at all. I think it's interesting, but I don't know. Let's see. David's 6-year-old Sai thinks like an adult who says that. Well, we always know. Well, it's Sai. I mean, you really gonna doubt how he's gonna act? I mean, I don't know. Let's see. Scruffles, do you think Isagi's physical stats are underrated, especially based off his clash with Rin this chapter, let alone this match? I think Isagi's physical stats are pretty good. I don't think they're definitely, like, superior. Rin's physicals are definitely superior than Isagi's, but, whatever. I don't know, like, Nagi should be better, but, maybe Isagi went through some training during the 2 weeks. We don't know how much training he actually went through, or... Sorry, how much development he actually went through. But I don't know. Now that you mentioned abusive parents, that would be interesting. Honestly, that'd be really, really interesting. Simply because, like, Sai left to go to Spain. And what if the reason he went to Spain was to get away from his family? But at the same time, I don't think he would have done that to Rin. He would have left him. Like, if they were abusive, I don't think they would have left. Sai would have left Rin. That doesn't seem like he would have done. But whatever. Like, I don't know why I keep saying whatever. I just don't think it's possible. It'd be interesting, but I don't think it's going to make sense because what we know about Sai, especially like him as a child and him caring so much for Rin before going to Spain, I don't think that if his family was abusive, he would have left. Nonetheless, even more when he came back, he would have talked to Rin the way he did after their one-on-one. If his parents were abusive, I just don't think that would have happened. I think that just doesn't make sense for Sai's character. What are your thoughts on the multiple backstories during the game and the NEL? I don't mind it, right? And I get the point that people make of saying, "Oh, backstory Munchin. There's so many backstories, yada yada." But the pacing of this match is going by really, really fast, right? Like we had Shido score a goal in like 3 chapters, I think, of this match actually starting. We had Isagi score a goal like 2 or 3 chapters after that. We had Kaiser attempt his shot, I think the chapter after, and fail, where we went into a 2 or 3 week chapter going back into the main storyline, right? And I think the game's moving really fast. So I think the backstories are adding that kind of buffer period of, like, not a break, but it's still like a better paced way of the story. And I just feel like the backstories aren't that bad. And I like seeing this kind of development for the characters. And people complain about backstories, but it's a really good way to flush out your characters, right? Like, we don't know much, because we don't know much about what they've done aside from being in BLUELOCK. You can't really give them a backstory aside from BLUELOCK. Besides, this arc is like the first time the main cast has really been split off. So the only other kind of backstory you could kind of do is them alone individually in their stratum. And we kind of know already what Rin was doing. He was training, he was practicing, trying to get better. But that's another thing that the light novels are good for, is expanding on these characters. And again, backstories aren't bad. People just like find them annoying because they'd rather just keep a constant flow. But I think sometimes a break is good. And sometimes it's good to have a break in between your stories, you know? And I wouldn't mind a backstory, because I've always been really interested on more of Sai's character, just because I want to see more of what he was like. We saw what he was like prior to leaving for Spain. We saw him actually go to Spain. And then we just saw him come back and just like have a whole thing with Rin. And like, I really want to know more. Like, we just found out about his flow state in this chapter, like, what those toys mean, considering he's had the toys pop up so many times when he's entered flow, we never really got an answer. So I think it's really interesting that we got them now. And I just want to get more of Sai, just because he's one of my favorite characters, and he's really interesting to me. I think that the shot will be blocked and true to Shonen but unlocks, where Charles will see Rin's potential. Maybe, but that's what's weird about this, is that Rin's knocked out of his flow state here. Right? Like, he literally says, my ego. His ego's unraveling. Like, so he's out of his flow state here, and he looks worried. So the shot's definitely probably not going to go in unless he kicks back into it after this backstory. So, I don't know. I think that they are not the type of family, whatever you do, you have to be number one. Yeah, no, I don't think so. I mean, his family isn't really... We don't know anything about Rin's family itself. Like, we know that they're not like Hiyori or even Reo. Like, we don't know much about them. So they could have that idea, but I don't know. I don't think they would, just because Sai didn't have that kind of mindset or any kind of hinting towards that in his development, in his youth. So, I don't know. The Uber's game in comparison took like a decade. The only reason that took a decade was because there were so many break weeks. Like, if you look at it, there's been so many break weeks during the Uber's game that is what made it so long. Like, I think it was about the same length, if not a little bit shorter than Manshan City. And the reason that Ubers felt so long was just because of how many breaks that were taken, just because of medical issues, injuries, or just, you know, stuff coming up in their life. So that's why Ubers took so long in comparison. So Sai thinks Striker is not having switches. No, I think Sai just decides that he wants to be playing as a midfielder, or he understands maybe in a way that Rin needs some motivation to become the best in the world, and Sai would be better off assisting Rin. Maybe, I don't know. I still think Bastard is going to lose 100%. I'm still on the whole opinion that they're going to lose. Yo, what's up, Jay? What's up, Jay? How you doing, bro? I still do think Bastard's going to lose. I think that Bastard München is going to lose 3-2. Rin's going to score eventually. And what's going to happen is that Charles is going to go through some kind of awakening, and Loki's going to notice that, come onto the pitch himself, and score the final goal. But the reason that he's going to be able to do that so easily with this new chemical reaction between him and Charles is simply because Noah isn't going to switch onto the pitch. He's going to be like, yo, he's the same age as you guys, and he's already a world-class player. After this is the final match. This is your final hurdle to see if you guys are really ready to take on the world. So Bastard München would not have to sub in Noah, and they would fight against Loki, a world-class player of the same age. So that's what I think is going to happen. I'd really like to see it. And it'd be a good way to keep the rivalry of Kaiser and Isagi alive going into the World Cup, along with Rin and Isagi, because neither of them would really overcome the other. They each would have scored a goal that surpassed each other, and now they're still kind of even, and then they could go into the World Cup trying to continue that rivalry and such. Let's see. Exactly one goal is remaining considering leaning towards this one. The Master Strikers aren't in it as well. Yeah, I think, again, Loki's going to sub in. Noah won't. And there'll be an opportunity for them to play around. A triple forward thing might be insane, honestly. Loki, Rin, and Shido all on forwards with Charles there would be a broken offensive party. Kiyor's the only backstory he didn't like. He didn't have much of a backstory. It wasn't, like, insane. It kind of just expanded upon his borderlining philosophy, which I kind of enjoyed, because we haven't gotten much from the episode Nagi's side story yet, especially in a couple months since it's been more focused on Karasu and Atoya so far. So I'm glad we get some more expansion on Kiyor and his mindset. I like some of the backstories, Kaiser and Yukimiya, but some, like Kiyor, I don't like because half the things didn't connect to football. No, it didn't connect to football or soccer itself. It more just connected to their personality and their mindset playing the game and playing the sport. Like, Kiyor will side with whoever he thinks, you know, deserves it, whoever he believes is the underdog in that situation, and I think that's really interesting in my opinion. Why isn't there art positioning channel? Yeah, there needs to be an art posting channel. I'm going to see if I can figure out how to do that. I don't really know how to manage Discord servers, so I'm going to talk to Raven and see if he can, teach me a little bit, and we can add some servers in there, like some video recommendations, art posting, stuff like that. Let's see, next chapter is Sai chilling with the Latinas in Spain. If that's what it is, Sai will immediately become my favorite character in the series. Rumors were 30 chapters. PhD is around 22 so far. Really? PhD's been going on for 22 chapters? That's wild. It hasn't felt like 22 chapters. That's interesting. Every final boss character in sports manga are this type of game. That's why. Yeah. Also, I hate it when people dislike an artist for taking breaks. No, I think like a lot of series deserve to go on monthly things. Like I'm one of the people who thinks that One Piece should become monthly with maybe like 30 to 50 pages in a month, and I think that'd be really great to see because the art would have so much extra time to be flushed out, and we wouldn't have to worry so much about the pacing and such. I think some stories should go for months, maybe even at least every other week, just to give the artist some time to draw better and not have to worry, have some time for their families and stuff like that. Look, he's gonna cook with Charles. Yeah, 100%. With Kunigami really isn't going to be getting much more attention aside from guarding Shido, in my opinion, because people are like, oh, do you think Kunigami's gonna score and kind of like get back against Shido? This is his get back. Like, he's currently like marking Shido and has beaten him 6 times like to none. Shido in this match, Shido hasn't beat Kunigami a single time since Kunigami decided to man mark him. Kunigami has beat him 6 times to the ball and basically made Shido useless during this match. That's his get back. Like, Shido made Kunigami seem worthless, and now Kunigami is making Shido seem worthless. That's his get back. He's not gonna score a goal. He's just playing the man marking, and he'll probably end up maybe even playing a defensive midfielder position in the World Cup, because we have a lot of forward-esque players who are very offensive heavy, and we need more defensive players because there's too many on offense who play offense and could definitely be utilized in other positions. So, I don't know why he was humiliated. So he gave up. Do you think it makes sense for Isagi to surpass Rin's bid, assuming that Rin scores? This is interesting to me because I always thought that Rin is going to be just above Isagi, just because I don't know. It's weird to see or to think about Isagi being higher than Rin, in my opinion. It's just odd because Rin has been the number one so like the entire series. So the fact that having him surpass him now would just be odd. Not odd. It feels weird. You know, it would be deserved. It just feels really weird, in my opinion. But so I don't think he's gonna surpass him. But I could see it happening. I could see it happening, but it would just feel weird to see. Yo, what's up, Toast? I'm doing good. We are here doing this stream. I don't know how much longer we're gonna go. If you guys have any more questions, leave them in the chat. If you guys don't have any more questions, we might call it here, just because there isn't much more for us to really, talk about. But if you guys have any more questions, throw them up in the chat, and we'll keep going. If Shido leaves, then Kunigami will basically be free to roam. Yeah, he will, but Shido probably won't get subbed out unless Loki comes onto the pitch. Like, Shido is the one character who I think is the most overrated character. At least one of them. Like, I don't think that Shido is all that good. He hasn't really improved that much since the U20 match. And everyone hypes up, oh, Shido performed the Big Bang Drive. It's one of the best goals in the series, one of the best goals in the series. Yeah, it was a really good goal, but the problem is that he hasn't really shown any improvement. Like, realistically, I want you to be honest with me. What improvement has Shido shown from the 3rd selection where he was introduced to right now in the series? Has he done anything more impressive? No. At least to my knowledge, I haven't seen him do really anything, honestly. It's really worthy of being showing that he deserves to be where he is right now. Like, the only reason that he is number 4 is because of Charles. Like, they're not really considering. That's another thing with this value system, is that they heavily value goals and not a lot of other plays. Like, I know Noah said there's a lot of clubs that value more sorts of plays, but the majority of them just are valuing goal scorers. And it sucks that it doesn't make the most sense. Because Charles is the prodigy giving Shido and Rin all these passes. But Rin can do more than Shido. He can dribble, he can pass, he can shoot. He's got great vision, but Shido doesn't really have either of those. He's got shooting, but that's really it. Entertainer, that's where we're gonna have some beef right now. Well, no, Christian, I don't think Shido has Predator. I think that's just his eye design. But Entertainer, we're gonna have some beef right now because there's no way you gotta go and say that Chigiri's the most overrated. If anything, Chigiri is one of the most underrated characters because he's just so broken. Like, his speed is one of the best in the series overall. He's the second fastest speedster. Like, maybe third if you count Chris Prince. But Chigiri's the second or third fastest speedster in the series. Like, he's so quick. Loki's obviously the fastest, but Chigiri's up there. Like, his shooting is insane. He scored a goal in every single match of the NEL. And he's already, I think, the top, what is he, 5? 6? I think he's 6 or 7. But he's so good. Yo, what's up, Lemons? How you doing, bro? But yeah, Chigiri's so underrated. Zora, yeah, Shido lives off his U20 feats, and there's not really anything to show that he's got improved that much better. I think here's the thing: Shido's scoring capabilities are broken, but he's very easy to stop. He got stopped by Leo and is easily getting stopped by Kodansha. Like, here's the thing: Shido is really good at finishing. But here's the problem with Shido, is that Shido's entire character design and character playstyle is all about kind of redirection. Like, if he traps the ball or stops moving, he's useless. Like, we saw Reo stop him. Karasu could easily stop him if he wanted to. Like, and he's getting stopped by Kunigami here because he can't get to the ball. And even if he did, if Shido can't just immediately take a shot after getting the ball, he has no use, right? He has no use at all. Because we see his 2 goals in the U20 match aren't like he controls it and then fires. He just hits it. Like Dragon Drive, he ran to the spot where Sai passed, and the moment he got the ball, he didn't trap it, he just direct shot it. Like, he just shot it directly towards the net. That's what he did. In Big Bang Drive, he just did a bicycle kick off the rev, no controlling. So the moment Shido traps the ball or stops for a moment, his skill drops, and he's not gonna really have a use on the U20 team, in my opinion, because there's so many other players who could take a better role in the position, especially if Sai doesn't come to play for Japan, which I don't think he will. So that's just me. Chris Prince mentioned, I feel like a lot of people forget that he's faster than Chigiri. Yeah, Chris Prince is 100 in everything. Like, Chris Prince is 100 stat in every single category when it comes to Blue Lock. But when it comes to my prediction, I'm gonna end it off with this. I'm gonna end the review off with this. The next chapter is called Life is Beautiful, right? So we're definitely gonna be getting some Sai content. I would really like to see Sai watching Rin. And it might sound dumb. It's gonna be some kind of like power of friendship thing, but not really. I would like to see Sai watching the NEL and watching Rin's current matchup and kind of like encourage him. He wouldn't be able to hear him, but I hope he'd be like, "Come on, Rin, feel the feeling. You know exactly, like, remember that feeling," type thing. That Bachata did to Isagi in the first election, where he said, "Remember your goal." I would love to see something like that from Sai, which kicks Rin back into his flow state. What do I think Noah's stats are? I think Noah's stats are pretty similar to Chris Prince, if not identical. Snuffy's, his physique is good. I think he'd probably just be lower on the speed aspect. And probably the passing aspect, because we don't really see him passing really well. So I would say the speed, I would say speed and passing that Snuffy would be lower in, but pretty much the same in every other aspect, maybe. How come Adam Blake easily handed Tokimitsu, but Chris Prince struggled with Kaiser in a physique battle? Well, that's because Adam Blake's entire thing is just his incredibly strong physique. And Chris Prince wasn't really struggling with Kaiser in a physique battle. It's just Kaiser was getting overwhelmed, so he stopped trying to do a battle of physique. Like, he broke past Chris Prince. Chris Prince turned to try and, like, crush him, which he would have physically. But Kaiser pulled back so he wouldn't result in like losing this. And when he pulled back, Noah came in, and then Ryo stole the ball. So it wasn't that Chris Prince was struggling; it's just that Kaiser was, so he stopped. So he stopped trying to get into that battle. Whatever. Sai watch it with Luna in the background mocking Rin, which pisses Sai off. Yeah, I would like to see that. We're definitely going to see either a backstory of Sai, maybe some of Sai's time in Spain, and him talking about Rin and stuff like that. And here's what I would like to see. Here's what I would really like to see. I would like to see a part where it's a Sai-oriented chapter. We go through his time in Spain and such, and he's constantly thinking about Rin and his performance, trying to get better for Rin. And we go back to the Rin and Sai matchup, where we see Sai's perspective and his thought process, and then him during a game when he matched up against Rin in the U20 match. And the chapter would end with Sai watching this on like his phone or on a TV or something, and Sai would kind of cheer Rin on, and Rin would just kind of discard everything. So like Sai's finally trying to support Rin, and Rin just finally is letting go of that, which is what's breaking him into his true flow state. And that's where the chapter would end, with them rematching up. So it's like this: the ball is still in front of both of them, and the chapter kind of mirrors when they first did their matchup panel, but now they're locked in. He gets his destroyer eyes, Isagi enters flow, like they get locked in right here. That's what I would like to see. Did you see the interview that BLUELOCK Season 2 isn't done with their animation? I don't believe that. Can you send me the link right now? I don't believe that for a second. I need your source of the interview. I'll look it up on Twitter if I have to. But yeah, I don't believe that for a second. We'll look it up right now. We'll check it out right now for you. How about that? Is there a break week next week? No, there is not a break week next week. Sender should be the sub goalkeeper for Kagamoto because his clutch saves reminded me of Kagamoto in the first selection. Sender's definitely not going to be playing goalkeeper. He doesn't have the physique or height or even the build for it. He's just really good at reactions for incoming plays. But yeah, it's on Reddit. Alright, but I wouldn't trust Reddit for a second when it comes to sources like that. BLUELOCK Season 2 interview. Alright, see you, done playing. Have a good sleep, bro. There we go. Let's see. I'm looking at this right now. Here we go. Let me put it back. Let me pull my screen back up for you here. It's supposed to be an anime expo discussing TV animes, a spin-off film episode Nagi, and a second season coming in October of this year. Sat down and talked about them working on the manga challenges they face with creating a work loved by fans, as well as what's expecting for season 2. What aspects of your role have been most challenging? When BLUELOCK first started, we received the material for the first and second chapters. The second chapter is, especially with a lot of content in the magazine, it's usually like 60 pages, 40 pages, and 30 pages for the second and third chapters of the manga. For BLUELOCK, the first and second chapters were already 80 pages each. That means that they had a lot of content to edit down from the very start. This caused a commotion. We wondered if we would make the deadline. That was the biggest challenge, to edit all the information we already had from the start. Even Nomura Sensei, who draws really quickly, had to push really hard to meet the deadline. Matches and comeback and PhD match. The anime was challenging to create from the start. The most difficult part was preserving Nomura Sensei's cool, recognizable drawings. We paid a lot of attention to the small details that BLUELOCK manga that made the BLUELOCK manga unique, which made it hard to meet the deadlines. We often turned it into right before it aired on TV. Tanabe, who did the character designs and the main animators, worked especially to capture the expressions and the essence of Nomura Sensei's art. See, allocating time enough for them to draw as much as possible within the tight schedule was very challenging. Despite the time constraints, everyone was dedicated to ensuring highest quality and staying true to the original work. Most of all, the amount of lines overwhelmed me. About 80-90% of the script for the first episode was Isagi's lines, and similar for other episodes too. Among them were the lines he actually says out loud and the ones he says in his mind, his inner monologues. They come in and out another word without any pause. It was like what While I was exercising and running with all my might, suddenly I would have to say something in a calm way, so I was physically out of breath, but I had to force myself to calm down and speak. That was really tough. I wasn't sure when to catch a breath, and in the middle of it, I saw nothing but white in front of my eyes because I was left me breathless as desperate I was playing. It's good to see how passionate the voice actors are. Any behind-the-scenes moments with other staff? What been the most difficult about voicing Isagi? Oh, here we go. As BLUELOCK's editor, you're putting opportunities to work together with Muneyuki Kaneshiro on the story, considering that the manga and episode 90 are illustrated by different people, is challenging to collaborate with 2 different artists. That's really it. Who decided that episode 90 would be adapted into the movie? Were there any specific details you found challenging when tackling the movie? Regarding the timing of the decision to make a movie, it was already decided that there was going to be a second season. However, there was going to be a big gap between the 2 seasons, so around the midpoint of season 1, we decided that we were going to add the episode 90 movie. Because we were in the middle of the first season, we were able to stay in that work mode and play around with the idea to see what be like from Nagi's perspective. This allowed the production to run a parallel with the ongoing series. When producing a TV show, each episode typically runs for 20 to 35 minutes and often ends on a cliffhanger to keep the audience. However, when producing a movie, which runs for about 90 to 100, requires having a complete story from start to finish. In original works, every volume also ends with a cliffhanger, especially for BLUELOCK. So our challenge was to be able to make one continuous story with a beginning, middle, and end that would run smoothly within the 90 to 100 minute time frame. The original manga was not exactly caught up yet, so we had to work closely with Kaneshiro to produce a movie while ensuring stay true to the source material. Oh, fans look forward to probably the power of acting and Arsa's producing. I think will be the best soccer match you've ever seen in your life. After going through TV and theater, I thought of creating more refined and cooler visual presentation, kind of like a culmination, of course. The content of the matches is important, but I hope everyone also sees the evolution of the direction. As I mentioned before, during the first season, we were trying to meet deadlines and try to get it on time, but this time we got the hang of it and we were trying to bring something new to the table with the characters we already love and many more new interesting characters about to appear. I think everyone will find these new favorite characters. Please look forward to it. It's not finished. That's interesting. You were right about that. It's not finished yet, though. That does worry me a little bit because that they already have a release date. They're already done with the first selection, and they're probably realistically, if they're not done yet, I'm hoping they're at least up to Bado's goal. I'm hoping, and that worries me a lot because now they're going to be rushed for the Rin and Isagi matchup. Maybe he says that they're not going through as much trouble with time, so maybe they're going to be experiencing less worry. But it's still difficult to tell. When we started the voice recordings for the second season, we were told by the original creators that they had to put everything into drawing the under 20 match. They said that they would be happy if we, the voice actors, approached it the same way when recording for the anime. Hearing those words, I felt that we must respond to their wish and give it everything we have. Of course, BLUELOCK is loved by fans worldwide, and I believe it will continue for a long time. But even so, I want people to think that there isn't anything that could possibly be more exciting than this after watching the second season. I'm planning to put my best performance into the visuals. So I'd be happy if you could receive that passion and that ego that make the original work exciting. I will do my best. I think the viewers who love BLUELOCK Season 1 will love BLUELOCK Season 2 even more. Please look forward to it. That sounds I'm very interested. They're not done yet, but hopefully they will be getting done soon. But yeah. I'm actually going to be calling the stream here. Thank you guys for tuning in. Hopefully next week, Raven will be feeling much better, so he can join us for a side chapter, considering, Sai's like the best new Gen 11 there is. Leave me your predictions in the comments of this stream. And, maybe I'll have an event going on Friday I can do another side stream for, but who knows? I'll let you guys know. But thank you guys for tuning in, but I'm going to tune out now. Thank you guys for, taking the time